Ashleigh here, and if you are new, hey girl, hey. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing 6 spring DIYs. I am so excited to share this with you guys. I love them all, but you know I have my favorites. So this is gonna be a mixture between like the thrift store and Dollar Tree and Target, Bullseye, Dollar Spot, whatever you call it. So it's gonna be a good mixture of things in here. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. So let's go ahead and hop into DIY number 1. Hop, perfect for spring. And I don't know why I always say that because it sounds so weird, but let's get started. So for the first DIY, I'm going to be using this thrifted basket that I found, and I am just going to be spray painting this, my favorite spray paint color. So I did about 2 coats and this was good to go, and now I'm going to start to decorate this crate. So I'm going to be using these little mini vases that I got from Target, Dollar Spot, or Bullseye, and I'm going to be adding these plants that I got from Micheals, which I will have linked down below, and I added all 3 of these vases inside of this little crate. So to jazz up these vases a little bit more, I'm literally going to be using this like ribbon that you can get from the pillows that you get from Marshalls or Micheals that they're wrapped in, and I'm going to add these to my vases. So I'm going to cut them down to the length that I need, and then I actually cut this one in half because I was going to wrap it around the neck of the vase. So for each of the vases, I did like a different design. So for this one, I'm just wrapping it around the top. The next one, I just wrapped it all the way around and I glued it to the back. And then for the third one, I just added this ribbon to the bottom of it. And that is it. That's all I did to this. I literally just spray painted the little crate that I found, and I decorated it with the mini vases and these other little glass bottles. And I just love when I find things like this at the thrift store because they're really easy to upcycle and use them in your home. So for the next DIY, I'm going to be using these MDF blocks that I got from Target Bullseye, and they're just these little decor signs. And for the first one, I'm just going to take these appliques that I made a while ago, and I am going to, actually last year I made these, and I'm going to add them to the front, but first I'm just going to sand them and make sure they are nice and smooth to add to my little block here. I'm just going to add those, as you can see, with my hot glue gun, and I am just arranging them in the order that I want them to be on the top of this. So after I was done adding my appliques, I just spray painted this, and then I actually came back and took a coat of chalk paint and added it on top to give it a matte finish. So for the next little block piece that I had, I actually painted this first, and then opposite of what I did to the other one, I took it outside and I spray painted it. So it was a nice satin finish. And then now I'm going to take this stencil that I have. It's an adhesive stencil. I'm going to use the honey part, well, the beehive, and I'm going to add that nicely into the center of my little block. And then I'm going to take some of my Dixie Belle Mud, and I'm going to add that to the top of this, and then I'm going to peel it off, and I'll have a nice raised textured stencil. So after I remove that stencil, I'm just going to add my stamps. So these are letter stamps, and I created the word honey. So I'm going to wrap it together using my painter's tape, and this is just going to make sure that it's evenly spaced, and then I'm going to attach that or stamp it to the front of my little block. And since this was satin finish, it was really easy for me to remove any excess ink using a wipe. So I love how both of these turned out. They are perfect to add to any 3 or 2-tiered tray that you might have. Not even just a trays, but like a shelf or anything like that that you want to decorate. These are perfect to add for the spring, and I just love how these turn out, and they're so super easy to make. Before we move on, I want to talk about my sponsor for today, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes, and they have tons of topics to choose from. Some topics that they have that you can choose from is anything from fine arts to graphic design, illustration. There's just so many things that you can explore on there. One class that I have been taking is called Plants at Home, Uplift Your Spirits and Space with Christopher Griffin, and I am absolutely loving it. I am learning how to take care of my plants at home, and this class is also a very fun class to follow. One thing I like about Skillshare is that there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes, and it is less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. So I do have an awesome offer for you guys, and the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click on that link down below in the description, you will get a free trial of a premium membership. So make sure you check that out down below so you can start exploring on Skillshare. Now let's go ahead and hop on back into these DIYs. So moving along, this is one of my faves, and I am using a thrifted frame that I'm so glad I spotted. I actually got 2 of them. So I'm taking off the cork part and I'm just going to use the frame. And then this is a 5x7 glass that I got from the Dollar Tree. It was just a 5x7 picture frame and I'm using the glass, and I'm going to clean it with Windex. And then I'm going to take this silkscreen bunny that I got from Micheals, and I'm going to attach it to the center, and I am going to be using my Sheepskin color chalk paint, and then I'm going to remove that, and now I have this beautiful bunny. After that, I'm just going to remove the wiring on the back and then the little metal loops that they were attached to as well, so that it'll be easy for me to just pop my glass right into place. And to attach this to the frame, all I'm going to do is just add some glue dots to the edge here. And if I ever wanted to change this out, I would be able to just add a heat gun, heat that glue back up, remove this part, and I'll be good to go. And that is it. This is literally my favorite. It was so simple to do and it's so cute. I just love how this turned out, and it's perfect decor for the spring. So for this next DIY, I'm going to be using this flower pot that I already had, and I'm just going to be redoing it. So I'm going to take this stencil that I got and I'm going to add it. It's just a bee, and I'm going to be using the Dixie Belle Mud again, and I'm going to add that to the area, and then I'm going to peel it off and I'm going to have a like raised stencil. I love using this stuff because it's really nice to make these impressions with different stencils that you have. So I'm going to keep doing this around all of the flower pot, and that's basically all I'm going to do to this. I just love this because it's a really easy way to just upcycle and create a very cute terracotta plant holder for your plants, and it will take you no time to do this. So I wanted to keep this clip in here to show you guys that my DIYs don't always turn out as planned. So I added these beads on there and I did not like them at all, especially when I started to spray paint. So instead of that, I took them off, added some more of the beads, and then I took my chalk paint and painted over this to give it a nice matte finish. And after that quick little fix, I just love how this turned out. This is another one of my favorites. Very easy to do. You could do this to any pot that you get, any terracotta pot or any plain pot, and you could just up it up a little bit with this style. Alright, so moving along to the next DIY, I'm going to take this Dollar Tree plaque and I'm going to pop out the center portion, and then I'm going to add this flex plastic into place, which came from another photo frame, and I'm just going to take that centerpiece, add it to the top, and cut it out. And then I'm going to add another stencil on top. It says sweet as honey, and I am painting it on here, but instead of painting it, I just took my Dixie Belle paint again and I put that on top and removed the stencil, and then I attached this using my hot glue gun the same way that I did the bunny, and that was all I did for this DIY. So I love how this turned out. Super simple to do, just a quick little fix to the plaque pieces. I love to pick these up from the Dollar Tree because you can do so many things with them. So moving right along to our last DIY, this one I'm going to be making a spring wreath. So I'm going to be using that Dollar Tree wreath and also these florals from Micheals. And I'm going to be detaching what I need to add to my wreath. So once I got those detached, all I did was I started to add these. So to add these on there, I'm going to be using this twine. So if you don't have floral wire, this is a nice alternative. You just cut the size you need, wrap it around, tie your greenery or florals to your wreath, and you'll be good to go. So I did this for the top side portion and the bottom side portion. And then after I got those attached, now I'm going to be taking my flowers and I'm going to add them to the center of that. And And I'm going to be using the pick parts that they have, and then I'm also just going to be using my glue gun to glue this in place. To add just a little bit more texture, I'm going to be taking this lamb's ear that I got from Walmart. It was 98 cents. And I'm just going to be adding these in between. And that is it. That's all I did for this wreath. Very, very simple, easy to do. And I have a nice spring wreath that you can add to any door or pantry or wherever you want to add these. And it's going to look so good. So again, I just love how all of these turn out. They're so simple to do, and it's amazing what you can do with thrift store items, Dollar Tree items, and also Target dollar spot things. So if you guys got an inspiration from this, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below to let me know what you think. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure you click on that subscribe button and you hit that notification bell so you'll always be up to date with my latest tutorials, and I'll see you in my next one.